They are walking into the stadium. The Sri Lankan team saying their prayers before the game. As you see the home team lineup: Terence Henry, Nama Rajapaksa, hooker, captain Satyarantunga, Hasta Perera, Shahrukh Fernando, Danushka Perera, Yoshira Rajapaksa, Bilal Hassan, number 8, Surya Bandara, number 9, Fasil Marja, number 10, Nagar Joseph on the wing, Lee Kegel, center, Danushka Ranjan, the try-scoring machine at outside center with Taturanga and Hettiarachchi manning the line of defense. Philippines, Philip Ibrahim, Michael Twing, Philip Sinclair, David Finney, Stephen Howard, Ronald Fong, Christopher H, C. Anderson as number 8, Jake Letts, Saunders, captain, playing as a very vital position, number 10, Kenneth Stevens, Justin Governor as the outside half. We've got Matthew Saunders playing as other center, Gareth Holgate as the win 3/4 as we wait for Sushi Kawao for the kickoff. Good kick taken by Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka has stolen the ball from off the kickoff. Surya Bandara to Danushka Perera. You must release the tackle player, says the referee. Sri Lanka with the opportunity to get the first points on the board within the first minute. Sean?
Thank you very much, SW. Good evening, Sri Lanka. Fabulous to be here. The race course all dressed up. Beautiful surface. I'll tell you the weather. A beautiful rose-colored, pink-colored sky welcomes the Philippines. Pressure game. And as you saw, Sri Lanka really, really focused in that first kickoff. Just getting in quite hard and earning themselves that penalty. They're going to have to play this brand of rugby, Changa, all the way for 80 minutes. They're going to have to put the pressure on the Philippines. Because from what I've seen, the Philippines forwards, a fairly big forward 5. And it's going to be interesting to see how Sri Lanka handled that pressure. Here's Hettiarachchi, sporting a very special moustache. Yes, thank you very much. So Hetty starts Sri Lanka off. A little bit of courage. First blood, Sri Lanka.
First blood, Sean. I think they've got to keep going like this, not for 80 minutes. I think more than 80, maybe 90 minutes. That should be their thinking behind it. And it's good to have points on the board with this brilliant kickoff and stealing the ball off Philippines and getting the points on the board.
Too true. Sri Lanka versus Philippines. Everything to play for because both points, or both teams, with 0 points in these Asian 5 nations. Those are the facts. It's been a hard road for both teams. A little bit of a mistake there. This is something that they got to try and cut out, the number of errors. So important that they get everything clinically right, Changa, because otherwise it's going to be a tough road. If you give the Philippines a look in, they're going to try and steamroll the story here. Very, very straightforward. They've been talking about the pressure they'll bring with the weight they have and that advantage.
Yeah, it'll be good to see how the first scrum taking place, Sean.
You know the feeling there, mate.
Absolutely. Up front.
There goes Satyarantunga from this side. Referee just having a word with the 2 front rows. Critical that he establishes his authority as well. So important. Nama Rajapaksa and Big Terence got their work cut out today, Changa.
Yeah, big boys. I think they played Japan and they played Hong Kong and Korea. I'm sure they have enough experience to hold this Philippine pack.
Too true. Here we go. First ball for the Philippines. Oh, bit of a mess. Sri Lanka driving. Trying to ruck that ball. And yes, they've got turnover ball. Fabulously done. There's Big Bilal.
Fantastic scrummage. This is a psychological factor for Sri Lanka. It's a victory, moral victory. Winning the line out with Danushka Ranjan to
Dinusha Chaturanga on the wide. Not too sure you need to kick that ball. Perhaps we've kept it in the hand a little bit better. So important sometimes, Changa, that you run at your opposite number, get that first clatter in, and then you start to settle down. What do you think?
Absolutely correct, Sean. You should have kept the ball alive, or if you kick the ball, keep the ball alive, and so that the opponents put the ball into touch, so that you have the line out.
Precisely my thinking, mate. But of course, it comes down to the lads in the middle. Pressure day for them. Hang on, referee's just indicated there's a bit of an injury. So the surface, I was just talking to Ross Mitchell on the interview just before the match, and he was saying what a well-kept secret and how brilliant the stadium looks. He said it's the best thing he's seen in a very long time.
Absolutely. This is a marvelous story. I think we should try and get more pitches on. Maybe one in Kandy, in Gaul, to get some pitches like this and play them up there. It'd be fantastic to take rugby out to the outstations. We've already done that, and if you get a pitch like this, as we see, I think it's a blood.
It's a blood injury, so the referee will give the customary minutes. He just walked across to say, does he have to get off the pitch, which he certainly has to do. So it's the number 4 for the Philippines. It's the number 4 is the lock, David Feeney. So he's just run off with the blood bin. He'll get the ice and a little bit of spray, and he'll probably be back in 2 minutes' time. In the meantime, the all-important line out here. Here it is. Beautiful. You can look at the ground. If you're not doing anything this evening, I suggest you grab yourself a transport and get here. Not a very good ball. Quickly done. Surya Bandara, hands. Danushka Pereira, Fazil having a look. On the wide, that's the winger for Sri Lanka. Ball in touch. All sorts of bodies everywhere, clattering each other. Good pressure. This game is all about pressure and who can absorb more pressure, I think. The Philippines and Sri Lanka met in Manila 2 years ago, and Sri Lanka narrowly missed out. They wouldn't have forgotten that. Here's line out. Taken quickly by the Philippines. Decide to spin the ball and now try and get out of their own territory. Ball stays in. Hetty will do his traditional up and under. Needs to get underneath it quickly. Gets up his opposite number. Philippines there in numbers. This is what they're going to do, just try and get as many hits as possible. Beautiful counter rocking from Sri Lanka. Almost a turnover ball. This is what they have to do. Philippines still retain possession. Plenty of screaming and shouting as to what should be done. Early nerves, of course, being settled in the process. Good stuff. Nicely done, Sri Lanka. 2-1, well hit. Sri Lanka have certainly done their homework with the Philippines. They know exactly what brand of rugby to play. Well done, really quickly up on them.
Danushka, Pereira and
Sharo. That's good defense as well from the Sri Lankan line. Really getting up. Referees playing on. You can hear the players encouraging each other, and that's what you need, Changa. You need Sri Lanka to be really switched on if they want to try and get the better of the Philippines in the first 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely, Sean, because interestingly, the first scrum of the Philippines, they stole it. The first line out of the Philippines, they stole it, and they've been counter-rucking but didn't get the position, but just backpedal the forwards, and that sounds good for Sri Lanka.
Certainly does. Psychologically, there's Yoshito Rajapaksa and Bilal Hassan in the frame. They've got a ton of work. Work rate has to be phenomenal today from them. Surya Bandara, scrum half, same for him. And you can't really wish the Sri Lankans any more than the maximum work rate. I had a lot of people saying good luck. I'm always a little bit wary of people wishing each other luck. I'm not sure which sort of luck do you practice?
I don't think there's such thing as luck.
That's what I've been saying, but nobody believes me. But here's ball for the Philippines. Good scrum. Nicely controlled. Slightly better from them. There's the skipper. Tackled well by his opposite number. But Saunders going in, the number 10 for the Philippines. Good tackles from Sri Lanka. The pressure is on, certainly. Good defensive pressure. Philippines trying to see if they can try and find the slightest gap, but Sri Lanka's lines are very, very strong indeed. Little bit of panic. Did the ball go back? Referee should blow. I wasn't quite sure. I thought that looked like a forward pass.
I think it went off the hand. It was knocked forward. Interestingly, there are two Saunders playing for the Philippines. The captain, Oliver Saunders, and the center, Matthew Saunders.
Could be related. We'll have to check on that. Very likely, because a lot of these Philippine players, as you know, SW, none of them actually live in the Philippines. They always play outside in France, in England, in Australia, in New Zealand. And I believe the Philippine Rugby Union get them back for official engagements such as this Asian Five Nations and the Sevens as well. So it's one of those things. Same with Hong Kong. I believe the Hong Kong players are domesticated. They live in Hong Kong, whereas the Philippines currently don't have that system in place as such. So all of their players of origin play in the region and outside. So you know, it's something that we found out last time we played in the Philippines.
Shah, interesting. This is our first put in into a scrum. Let's see how it goes.
Too true. Suri Bandara, outstanding. Nama Rajapaksa, the communication will have to now come into play. So important. The time spent in practice. This is what it boils down to. There you go. Suri Bandara waiting for the referee's call. And an early push. What was that? Carry on, says referee. Bilal Hassan doing what he does best. Suri Bandara, Fazi Maja, long ball into the middle, nicely done. Tanushka Ranjan there, growing in stature as he's done this series, but it's turnover ball for the Philippines. Kick down the park, referee says hang on. Penalty for perhaps a late tackle, was it?
Yeah, the penalty certainly for a late tackle on the fullback, Michael Letts.
Michael Letts, well, I don't think the player could pull back. He couldn't really put the brakes on and just clattered into Michael Letts. The skipper Rajapaksa having a word with the referee. So important that the skippers get a word in, Chang'a. It's all part of the process. And the penalty against Sharo. I don't think we saw the replay on that, so we'll just have to take the referee's word.
Yeah, because when you get on a late tackle and then the referee will play where the ball was last played or light on the ground, and it's right in front of the post, about 42 meters out, and the Philippines are having a go to equal the scores.
Too true. A very pleasant breeze, if you can see from the flags, just right across the grounds. So the Philippines obviously have been here. They were practicing earlier on. They've been in Sri Lanka for almost 2 days, I think. So trying to acclimatize themselves to the conditions. It's been very hot and sticky, but not too different to the weather in the Philippines, Chang'a.
Yeah, it's been the same weather, I suppose. Humid, sticky, and it was interesting to see the player wiping the sweat off the thighs.
Well, that's what they say. You always say once you get going, it's not really the brow that matters. It's how much your muscle is sweating. So 3-0 so far, and the Philippines with a chance to see if they can get a slot through the uprights. There he is now lining up. Very important for Sri Lanka that they run this ball back. Try and settle down and play Sri Lanka's brand of rugby. Certainly is looking okay. But
the flag stay down, so he's kicked onto the right post. Skipper Saunders.
Well, Skipper Saunders unable to get his team the 3 points required to equalize with Sri Lanka so far. It's been a quiet start, Chang'a.
Very quiet as we see Hettiarji restarting from the 22-meter dropout.
There's the centre for the Philippines. Just taking that ball into contact. Jordan Cavini.
Straight playing advantage on the knock-on.
It was Yoshida Rajapaksa. Luckily the ball went back. So the ball available for Sri Lanka. Ruck formed. Suri Bandara. Hettiarji, Terence Henry. There's Suri again, linking up. This time with Hetty standing in at fly half. Little chip over the top for the runners. The Philippines scramble that ball back. Looking for some territorial gain now. Has it gone too far? Yes, it has. Out on the full, so Sri Lanka's pressure starting to tell on the Philippines. They're playing in at 6s and 7s. They're not really coordinating their effort. They'll be concerned for skipper Saunders as to what they must do to settle down, Changa.
Yeah, I think they have the ball with them, but because they have been outplayed at the breakdown points.
There it is, a wonderful sight. The father of our nation, His Excellency the President, as Nama Rajapaksa gets that line out right. So important that we get our sets right, our scrums and our line outs. Here's Fazil, pre-planned. Bilal Hassan in that lineup. Looking to try and see much, but not much gain really. Suri Bandar again. Sri Lanka, good reaction so far. Yoshida Rajapaksa, oh sorry, Nama Rajapaksa trying to get that ball back, which he does do. Luckily he went back. Satya, Ranatunga hitting up nicely. Sri Lanka set up. This is good face play from them.
Terence Henry taking up front.
This is what we have to do, Chang. We have to do this day in, day out, all day long. Oh, stolen from the winger.
Matthew Saunders stealing it off of Sri Lanka. Referee playing advantage. Penalty offense. The tackler must move away. That's what he says. The tackler must roll away and make the ball available.
Absolutely vital part of the game now that the tackler and the tackle player both react quickly for continuity. That's part of the IRV's ruling to get this game going as fast as possible. So referee indicating the tackler didn't roll away, and a penalty to the Philippines. Big smiles on the TJs, always nice to see. Have a look at this. Just checking up on the labels there. Bilal Hassan and the scrum half for the Philippines. Very scrappy play from the Philippines, Changa.
Yeah, the set piece has not been quite right. I'm sure they'll get it right once they get the rhythm going. As you see them, they flock forward. David Finney is back on the field. Ball goes loose. Bilal Hassan picks the loose ball up. He's driving forward.
This is good sniping from Bilal. He does this so well, and he will need to do a lot more of this through this game. Fazi Maja, big cutout pass. Danusharanjan, Chaturanga in the line, inside pass. Hetiarachi. Oh! Opportunity. Didn't go to hand, but the ball went back, so still on for Sri Lanka. The three quarters rocking that ball nicely. Hetiarachi. Thinking about that little chip kick. Still on. All sorts of things going on now.
The main thing is, Sean, they're keeping the ball alive and the recycling position so well with the forwards and the backs. Satya to Sharo Fernando.
That's Terence Henry, Nama Rajapaksa getting in the running lineup. Good to see. This is more confidence from Sri Lanka. This is what they need. As the centre three-quarter there, trying to knock his opposite number over, does so. Henry takes up. Pick and go now from Sri Lanka. Nicely held up. Beautiful. Good set.
Anushka.
Sri Lanka pick and go from Nama Rajapaksa now. Captain playing at the front, leading up. Referee, they earned themselves the penalty. Excellent passage of play. Good aggression on from Sri Lanka's side. Good aggressive rucking always makes the difference, Changa.
Absolutely, the tackle situation. They have always been, so far Sri Lanka has been very aggressive at the tackle situation. Let it be, it's their ball, the Sri Lanka ball or the Philippines ball. They have rucked it very well, and that's why they're going up in front, inch by inch, step by step. And the backs and the forwards are combining so well, and their game plan has come so far so good for Sri Lanka.
That's it. SW summed it up quite neatly. And now it's a matter of converting all of this pressure into points. You talk about that in